YouTube or you're watching on TradingView, do press the like, okay? Do follow me or subscribe. And underneath the video, wherever you're watching it, there will be a link to get my free training, which will pretty much tell you what is right and what is wrong in the trading world, because it's easily to get misguided by people who are telling you one thing when really you should be thinking another way. So I've updated many posts that I've done on oil and on some yen pairs, and particularly on gold, because gold is sliding a bit. You can see we're at 1975. So I think what I might do as well is actually just add that onto the description. Okay, so let's stick it on there, because I think that's what people are probably going to want to know from me as gold slides down. So yeah, I mean, as it falls, you're looking really for areas to land and where you want to re-enter the market to the long side, because obviously on a fall, that's what you're looking to do. Now, I did mention a few times with gold, particularly about previous PA. So you had all these candle wicks here, and I said, look, I think they're going to break. I don't think that's changed. I think you will come under here, but as always, I'm not selling. Okay, I'm not selling, I'm letting it fall. And the reason why I'm not selling is because if you look to the left-hand side, you have already bounced off here many times before. Okay, it's already happened loads of times. So there's no point in pretending that that doesn't cause you to have a support bias here, or a long bias, as you should, because you can see that the market's popped loads of times. Now, the problem with why I wouldn't buy it now is because you've already touched on it so many times and you're just getting slammed at the moment. So eventually you're going to have to come under this line, whether it's tomorrow or the next day, it doesn't matter. If you get something like this, like I know a lot of Academy members traded really well, you're going to naturally have a far better chance of making money because you're trading in line with the market. Now, I said that before it happened. Anyone who comes on my streams will know I told everyone to short. I mean, you can literally watch my post back in the updates. I called every single pop, and I'm still doing it. If you're going to short, it needs to be up here. You're too late down here, okay? And look, you can see how it goes in with this trend line. All right, so just trade with the trend. Let it come down. You may find it stretches out, okay, because of these PA levels. But that doesn't matter. You just you redraw it more or less. But the point is, in markets, you want to get short on pops and you want to buy dips. If there's no dip, don't buy. If there's no pop, don't short. Okay? So my short bias comes near these key MAs and in line with all these little candle wicks and price action areas. So that's more or less 2,000 area for shorts. I'm not looking long until you can get a fall to support and probably nearer catching up with this 100 MA here. Okay, so that's going to take you right over about to 1940/1950 area. I'd probably start to scale in around 1950, I would say, and further complete your position nearer 1935 to 1940. That area is very ideal, and it's because it's when you start to bump in to PA levels on the left, because you don't really have anything significant until then. So that's where my long bias would come. Now, in terms of the size of that trade, you can see you've already come up from $1,600 to 2,070 or whatever, and you're now coming back, but you're still quite far up. So this size isn't going to be enormous. It's going to be mid-size, okay? Your stochastics are already low. I wouldn't be surprised if they teeter lower, but if you get that pop first, it's probably going to follow a trajectory like the one I've drawn. So you've gone down there, you come up, and then you continue. Now, it's really important to understand the natural flow of the markets. Okay, you can see really the area I've labeled is aiming for something like that, or that, or that. Okay, so it's just those dips. Remember, if we don't have a dip, we're not buying. If we don't have a pop, we're not selling. You just need to trade in the natural trend of the market. A bunch of guys who are always here, which is fantastic because I'm sure you're learning a lot. Philip, Chris, and Haydar. So I don't know Haydar X your Z your name. I don't know if you're in my academy, but the other two are. Great to see you guys. Thanks for the morning wishes. I hope you're well. Oil, as always, as I said, really, I mean, if you drop to a lower time frame, um, this is quite ugly, as I always say. I wouldn't be interested in trading it unless you go up here or you go down here. At this point, it's not showing you anything that clearly stands out and says, wow, this is great. It's just not. It's awkward. It's going to be a scalper's market. It's for people who trade really, really quickly on oil with low sizes. But just remember, you can trade anything anyway. You just open up your watch list and there's tons of things you can trade. You don't have to stick like glue to oil. Some people like to do that. I mean, I don't. But yeah, if you're coming in, please do press the boost as always. And of course, my free training's underneath. So we spoke about yen pairs in the description. Various indice markets are coming up. You can see on my watch list. The FTSE, I like it short definitely today, looking for something like that. Back down to the other side of this price channel. That's quite good. You can already see price rejection. That's my bias today, I'm sure. The SPX or the S&P E-mini futures, I like that short as well. It looks weak to me, but nonetheless, it's remaining at key short zones. But I would take it very lightly. Now, onto the yens, as I was saying. If I swap to my daily first, this is really good. You can see that there has been a candle, today, and it's rejected either way. And you can see there's indecision there. Now, what that really spells out to me is the fact that this has failed to come very far. And that obviously means there's not enough short side bias there. So for that reason, if I was trading it, I would stop looking to short just yet. And I would let it rise higher because you haven't had that big fall yet. And you can see with candles like this, you do come back and then you have larger candles down. That's a larger point of rejection it stretches to. But normally you'll follow a trajectory down if you've got much stronger candles. This just looks like you're getting rejection already. And therefore, I would use that early confirmation, if you like, and just look slightly higher. You can see that on your lower time frame on the 4 hour. You're really not coming harshly down. And there's all this early support. So just hold off shorts, I would say. Even so, even if you did enter short now, you would be selling into lower time frame support, which is not good. And a lot of people make that mistake because they don't understand multi-time frame analysis. New Zealand yen is there. CAD yen I will cover. I mean, you've got the same early PA there. That's why you're getting rejected already. If I swap way higher to the daily, again, if you look at this candle, rejection straight away after coming nearer that 200 MA. You've got far better levels of resistance here, and therefore I would look to short higher if you can get it, and that would be in line with the weekly downtrend you can now see. So the reason why that is a good short zone as well is because if you just pull out a fib, you can see you're going to be you're going to be around 61.8% of the move up. So in terms of market value, and if you were looking to continue that trend down, which you should be, because remember, we're shorting those pops, that is going to be ideal. And it'll look something like that. So if you shorted it along there, you'd be looking for this. And that would allow you to trade the trend long term. And that's normally how they begin. And even if you're wrong, you can use all my methods if you're in the academy and you've clicked the link underneath. I did have a little bit of a bug with the auto copy service, but I'm now fixing it. It should be back live in the very near future. So dollar yen, quite popular for a lot of people. What you're getting now is you're pipping over these two previous levels and here, and you can see that it's struggling, but it hasn't been rejected harshly away already. I'd already said that I wanted to look slightly higher for areas to short, and my bias remains that way. Someone asked me specifically, I mean, he's not in my academy, but he does ask a lot, what should I do? I shorted and it's still going up. What should I do? Well, that is why you have rules for trading. Now, I don't give those away for free because it would be incredibly unfair for the people who've actually paid me and invested themselves because they want to succeed. But if you're not someone who wants to succeed, that's okay. But yeah, you will lose all your money if you're not trading with plans. You need sentiment plans, risk plans, hedging plans if you want to get this right. Because if this does keep going up, like that person said, and you can't deal with it, you're going to get closed out. Okay? And your stop is probably here inefficiently anyway. Do you check no? Dixie, no. People ask me this a lot. The answer personally is no, because it's all much of the same anyway. It's just something people like to look at because it sounds smart, if you like. Oh, I'm going to check the Dixie so I know what the dollar's doing. Well, why don't you just check the news, or why don't you just check the euro? Okay, the euro is basically the inverse of the DXY, more or less. So I just look at the euro and I look at all the dollar pairs. I'm not really too interested in the DXY. It might help you surmise the overall market mood quickly, but I'm not. It's not really something I do. No. Euro though, I like it long. You're getting near our long zone. You are almost actually at early support. You could scale in with a very light position, but I'm long 1077. That's for me. Again, that's your dip, trading with the long-term trend. Good question though, but no, I don't check the others. I just check the pairs individually, and I flick through like this. Okay, once you've done this for so long, you can just see it. You don't need to worry. You can click the pair and you know what's going on because you just flick through them. Ord, I wouldn't be surprised if you do break through. It's a bit like gold, in that you've hit on this a lot of times, and the same with the FTSE as well. I think the markets are on a crux, if you like, and things are going to move a lot because normally that's how things go. You might have noticed things have slowed down, but that's exactly what happens before things rapidly change, and that's why I say you need to be ready for them. Okay, if you do want to be a full Academy member, you will have to go through that link for the free training. Anyway, so I think Ord will come through. You might find that you get a bounce where you are at the moment, but the risk in the market is there. So I would only very lightly long trade this, and I would look for exits more or less in the midway of this channel. Nothing wild. Okay, that is where I would kill things off. So the main point really today is the markets are sideways in a lot of cases. However, you can now plan for those moves that are coming up. My bias on the GJ, thank you, Chavez. I'll load up the GJ now. I'll swap to the daily. In fact, now I'll swap to the weekly. My bias is short, obviously short, because if I swap to my monthly as well, you just come up such a long way. I would say, however, I would hold those shorts off until here because that is really your key PA for short side entries. You could probably get a front runner there lightly and the remainder slightly higher up. So your kill zone, your tech kill zone, if you like, is there. 177 area. My bias is short anyway. This is still a short. I'm not saying to buy it, but it would be much more feasible for the majority of people in here, as I said, with less risk plans to get short up there. That is what I think about GJ. Is there any other questions? This one's not too long. I did a massive stream yesterday. Tons of people were there. I'll probably do a video or two today. I've got a few errands inside other businesses to run, but I am around. And as I say, the auto copy service is revamped because I needed to make some technical changes. But if you want to keep an eye on that, just let me know. If you want to be a full Academy member, you can go here, or you can just go to www.willofthetraderacademy.com. But anyhow, I hope that helps. Thanks as always, guys. Smash the like button, get the free training. I'll see you in the next one. See you there, guys.